But the altar call is one of the most important parts of a service. It gets left out. Young generations do not know what it's for. So I'm here to give you a few tips on what it's for, what can be done, what choices you have. Yeah, you have choices at an altar call. Did you know that? A lot of people don't. So let's start with one of the first choices. Let's go back to where an altar call is. Altar calls are usually at the end of a service. After the preacher has been up and given his message, there will be a song following it, and usually the preacher will give an altar call saying, come forward to pray. That's when your choices start. If you feel something in your heart tugging at you, that you need to pray, that's God. That's God at your heart telling you need to go pray. Now comes the choices. You have lots of choices on what to do here, believe it or not. First choice is, you got too much pride. You don't want to go forwards. People are going to talk about you. Wonder why he went forward for. Yeah. So, your first choice is, you can stand at your pew and pray. That's what a lot of people do nowadays. They just stand there and pray. If they even pray at all. A lot of people just ignore it. That's not good. But if God is pulling at your heart to go pray, and you stand at your pew, you're not obedient to God. Second choice is you can go up and pray. You've got over your whole pride issue. You're going to go up there. You don't care what the people say. And really, you're in church. It doesn't matter what they say, what they think. If you feel you need to go to God and go pray at the altar, then you need to go pray. The altar is usually a thing up front. Sometimes it's just the edge of the stage that the pastor is on. It can be different things. Different people. Some churches have a little wooden altar that they've made up that you can go pray at. Each church is different. But there's a place to pray. No matter what a church is, there's a place to pray. So, your second choice is, you can go up and pray. Just go up, kneel at the altar. Now, kneeling at the altar, this is not a place for show, to bring attention to you. This is a place for you and God. This is where you go to talk personally with God, your Savior. This is where you need to go to ask for God into your heart. This is not the only place you can go to ask God into your heart. You can ask Him into your heart any place in the world. That's not the thing. But if you're feeling the tug in a service to go forward, the altar is where you need to go. You need to go, kneel at the altar, and pray. Now, different things may happen. One, if you're new to this and haven't been around church a lot, one of the things is the pastor or the preacher may come down and lay hands upon your shoulders and pray over you as you're praying. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let that scare you, because you're not there for show. This is not a show. This is there because you need to talk to God. And that's number one. You need to talk to God. Now, you can do that, and that's fine. That's what a lot of people do. They just go up, they pray, and then they'll get up and go back to their seat. You've spoke your piece with God. If you're scared, which I think is what we find a lot of us people in a church, is we don't want to go up alone. We want someone to go with us. Now, you don't have to take somebody with you that knows exactly what you need to pray about. If you've been at church long enough, you should have identified, the preacher, of course. Number one person you should identify. He's standing up front telling you, sin's bad, need forgiveness in your heart. Your second option, or people you need to identify, are the deacons and the elders of the church. Now, some of the churches really put labels on elders and the deacons. Not all the people that maybe you want to go up front with are a deacon. Some of the people that have been in the church for a long time, some of the people that you can see God working in their life, these are the people that I call elders. People that have been there for a while, and you can see them working in their life. So, your third option, when you get an altar call and you feel that tugging at your heart that you need to go talk to God, you need to go pray to God, and you need to go forwards, is identify these people, these elders, these church-going people, not just church-going, these church-living, people that live for Christ. Just walk up to them, reach out, and grab their hand. During that last call, during that last song, not really the last call, but the last song where the preacher is giving the altar call, just walk down the aisle and grab one of them by the hand. Just reach out and grab their hand and give them a little tug. You can ask, will you go pray with me? But if you walk by and you reach out and you grab their hand, grab the edge of their arm, and give them a little tug, they will go with you. True Christians will go with you. They won't ask why. It doesn't matter. They will go with you and help you pray. If you don't know how to pray, one of your options is when you go to the altar, go grab the preacher. Grab him by the hand. Take him to the altar and say, help me pray. You don't have to tell him everything that's going on. It doesn't matter. Preacher doesn't care. He cares. But it doesn't matter what's going on. You can have him help you pray. Or if you just go pray, he will pray over you. And you, as I said before, you don't have to tell him what's going on. If you grab an elder or a deacon or one of the most godly people in a church and take them with you, you don't have to tell them. Just go up, kneel. They will place their hands on you, or they will hold your hand as you pray. And when you're done, that's where things get, maybe people kind of don't understand what to do next. There's options there too. You can get up, you go back to your seat. A lot of people, if you took somebody with you, they'll give them a good hug and say thank you. And then you can go back to your seats. You don't have to make a big deal over, you don't want to make a big scene at an altar. That's not what the altar's for. The altar is for you and God. Nobody else has to be involved. But if you're feeling God tug at your heart, you need to go forward. There's different ways to go. I give you plenty of options. One, you can go get the preacher's hand. Take him to the altar. 2, you can go by yourself. 3, you can pray at your seat, but that's not always being obedient. And 4, you can grab an elder or a church godly or a godly person and take them with you. So, that's one of the things that seem to be left out of churches nowadays. And it's pretty important. So, thank you.